Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by, and welcome to the 360 DigiTech fourth quarter and full year 2021 earnings conference call. Please also note today's event is being recorded. At this time, I'd like to turn the conference call over to Ms. Mandy Dong, IR Director. Please go ahead, Mandy.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our fourth quarter and full year 2021 earnings conference call. Our results were issued earlier today and can be found on our IR website. Joining me today are Mr. Wu Haisheng, our CEO and Director, Mr. Alex Xu, our CFO and Director, and Mr. Zheng Yan, our CRO. Before we begin the prepared remarks, I'd like to remind you of our safe harbor statement in our earnings press release, which also applies to this call. We may refer to forward-looking statements based on our current plans, estimates, and projections. Also, this call includes discussions of certain non-GAAP measures. Please refer to our earnings release for a reconciliation between non-GAAP and the GAAP ones. Last, unless otherwise stated, all figures here are in RMB. I will now turn the call over to our CEO, Mr. Wu Haisheng.
Hello， 大家好，非常高兴跟大家分享我们21年全年以及4季度的业绩。21年我们全年的这个撮合放款量达到3571亿，达到我们上调后的指引3500亿到3600亿，同比增长45%。4季度单季度的撮合放款量达到969亿，同比增长40%，再来余额增长到1420亿，同比增长54%。在21年这样一个多年难遇的这个波动环境中，我们的业务也遭受到了来自宏观经济、疫情以及行业政策等诸多外部因素的冲击，但是我们依然在保持资产质量稳健的前提下，实现了这样一份骄傲的成绩，这有力的体现了我们业务的韧性。
Hello everyone, I'm very happy to report another solid quarter that capped off a strong year. In 2021, total loan facilitation through our platform reached RMB 357.1 billion, up 45% year-on-year. This beats the midpoint of our raised full year guidance. In Q4, total loan facilitation reached RMB 96.9 billion, up 40% year-on-year. Outstanding loan balance reached RMB 142 billion, up 54% year-on-year. Our business overcome multiple challenges related to macroeconomy uncertainty, sporadic outbreak of COVID, and the fast-changing regulatory environment in a rather volatile year of 2021. Delivered the growth while maintaining stable asset quality and further demonstrating the resilience and the flexibility of our business.
下面我分享一下4季度我们取得的一些进展。
Now let me walk you through some updates for Q4.
首先分享一下大家比较关心的政策方向。今年的政策主线呢非常的清晰，稳增长促消费，也意味着促进消费金融的发展。国务院提出把稳增长促消费放在更加突出的位置，预计将进一步出台政策，促进消费和支持小微企业发展。消费信贷和小微企业信贷仍然有广阔的市场空间。重庆已经出台金融改革发展“十四五”规划，提出支持扩大消费金融信贷、消费金融机构适当放宽融资条件等。央行等部门出台了金融科技发展规划，肯定了金融科技的积极意义。金融机构与科技公司合作，共同推进数字化转型，仍然大有可为。此外，央行等多部委进入联合印发了金融标准化“十四五”发展规划，明确提出推动金融标准化改革创新。我们积极参与相关部门组织的多项配套制度的制定工作，为提升行业标准能力，推动数字金融标准化工作尽一份力。
Regulation remains an area that draws a lot of attention. So let me first share some updates here. The overarching theme of the government policy for 2022 is very clear. which is to achieve steady economic growth by driving consumption, suggesting more supportive to the development of consumer finance. We expect the policymakers to introduce additional measures to drive consumption and support SMEs, as China's State Council has made the above-mentioned policy theme as a higher priority. For example, in its municipal level 14th five-year plan for the financial industry reform, City of Chongqing supports the expansion of consumer finance industry through a proper loosening of financing restrictions for consumer finance companies. At the central government level, PBOC has acknowledged the value of fintech in its fintech development plan for 2022 to 2025. There are tremendous opportunities for financial institutions and tech companies to work together and contribute to the digital transformation of financial sector. In addition, the PBOC and other national regulators are promoting innovation in financial standardization, outlined in the 14th five-year plan for the financial standardization. We actively participate in policy design-related discussion organized by regulator and contribute our industry know-how to support the effort.
在四季度，我们按照金融监管部门的要求，积极稳妥推进各项整改工作，公司的治理结构进一步完善，业务发展更加聚焦。正如日前郭日新主席评论整改过程说到，在自查方面的基本工作已经结束，整体进展的情况还是比较顺利的。我们也有充分的信心把整改做好。同时，我们顺应政策导向，结合自身发展的需要，将我们的小贷公司增资到50亿元，服务能力及抗风险能力进一步增强。未来我们将坚持直接服务与间接服务并重，一方面用小贷公司直接放款，加大对特定群体、特殊产业的支持；另一方面，与个人征信机构等主体合作，帮助金融机构更好地服务消费者。从监管政策看，金融监管部门持续推动业务持牌经营等前提与明确的要求切实落地，重点关注报送方案的落实跟进，重点业务的常态化建设。主要整改项目也将按照监管部门的计划迎来验收的环节。
In Q4, we started to implement rectification measures in accordance with the regulatory requirements. We have enhanced our corporate governance structure and further focused on our core business. At a recent briefing, Guo Shuqing, chairman of CDIRC, stated that the self-check part of rectification work has been largely completed. Overall progress of rectification has been smooth so far, and are confident to complete the rectification work very well. Based on the regulatory guidelines and our own business needs, we increased the registered capital of our microlending subsidiary in Fuzhou to RMB 5 billion. This enhanced our capabilities to serve users and manage risks. Going forward, we will continue our strategy on both direct and indirect loan service. On one hand, we will offer loans through our microlending company directly to target customers and industries. On the other hand, we will work with credit agencies and help financial institutions better serve consumers. We believe that financial regulators will continue to work on the implementation of the previously released general regulatory principles, such as financial service can only be undertaken with proper financial license. They will focus on the execution of the rectification plan and the regular monitoring of the progress. We are entering the late stage of many rectification process and waiting for the review and certification by the regulators.
四季度我们取得其他的合作进展，包括以下几个方面。在定价方面，我们四季度撮合贷款的平均定价按计划有序稳步下降，单季度降低2%，切到实处的帮助用户降低借贷成本。数据合规方面，我们持续加大安全投入， 提升信息安全能力。旗下商业借条 App 获得中国网络安全审查技术与认证中心的安全认证证书，这是我们在个人信息保护方面再次获得的国家级认可。我们也获得国际知名标准认证机构 SGS 颁发的 ISO 27701隐私信息管理认证。这是继 ISO 27001之后，我们在隐私与信息安全领域获得的又一项国际权威安全认证。同时，因为在工信部 App 侵害用户权益专项整治行动中率先行动，主动落实，卓有成效，我们获得了工信部信息通信管理局书面表扬。
In Q4, we also make progress in a few other compliance-related areas. Average API for loan facilitated through our platform declined 2% from previous quarter, effectively brought down the cost for our borrowers. In terms of data-related compliance, we continue to increase investment in data security and data protection. The China Cybersecurity Review Technology and Certification Center, CCRC, awarded its security certification to our flagship product, the 360 DigiTech app, adding another national certification for privacy protection to our products. We also obtained the ISO 27701 certification, Privacy Protection Management System, issued by SGS, a well-known international standard certification organization. This is the second important international standard certification in privacy and information protection area we received, following the ISO 27001 Information Security Management System a few months ago. In addition, the Cybersecurity Management Bureau under the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, MIIT, issued a written recommendation acknowledging our excellent performance in the special campaign for app users' privacy protection.
四季度，我们在多个经营维度方面也交出了优秀的成绩。
In Q4, we also achieved excellent results in several operational areas.
产品方面，我们个人信贷消费贷款产品全年实现高质量的增长。去年推出的小微企业贷款产品快速发展，取得了令我们满意的成绩。小微贷四季度相比三季度授信金额季度环比增长16%，持续提升。Q4新增授信金额达到93亿，20年底贷余额占大盘13%。我们持续打磨产品，实现额度上探以及自营定向获客等多渠道的方式，深挖更加优质的小微客群。其中主要包括第一方面，进一步与银行形成深度合作机制，接入企业征信查询，打通对公授信流程，通过额度上探吸引更多优质的小微客群。第二，几个年前烟酒小卖部进货周期周短资金需求大、回款快速的场景，通过简化审批流程，直营行业定向末拜获客的方式，抓住了行业潜在机会，大幅提升烟商贷整体授信规模，获取优质的烟商贷客户。招业直营团队获客烟草授信客户占整体小微经营授信的20%以上，交易规模月环比增长106%。同时，从今年开始，我们为进一步整合业务能力，实现对小微类的用户和消费类用户的差异化服务水平和服务效率，我们已启动旗下小微产品的整合工作，通过全新升级的 App 为新的小微客户运营载体，实现以现有的商人借条品牌的差异化，在原有的纯金融属性服务基础上，进一步探寻更多辅助小微企业的经营性产品和服务。
On the product front, our consumer loan business achieved high quality growth throughout the year. Our SME loan products, which we launched last year, grew rapidly and delivered satisfactory results. In Q4, total amount of new approved credit line for SME loan accelerated and grew by 16%, sequentially to RMB 9.3 billion. As of the end of 2021, the outstanding loan balance of SME loan accounted for 13% of our total loan book. Meanwhile, we continue to refine SME products and expand to better quality customer group by offering larger ticket size products targeting specific SME group offline. For example, we expanded our collaboration with banks to access corporate credit records. This allows us to offer bigger ticket size credit products and attract more high quality SME borrowers. Another effective approach is that we offer customized products to the tobacco and alcohol retail borrower during Chinese New Year, when their funding needs surge and turnover increase. To capitalize such opportunities, we simplify approval procedures and increase direct sales for this customer group. In December, credit line granted to the tobacco retail borrower acquired by our direct sales team accounted for more than 20% of total SME and transaction volume, increased by 106% on a monthly basis. Meanwhile, starting off this year, to offer differentiated service to SME and consumers and to improve efficiency, we will serve SME users through an upgraded app separate from 360 JTL. In addition, on top of the credit service we currently provide, we will actively explore other services and products to better support SMEs business operations.
在与金融机构合作方面，我们继续发挥科技平台的优势，接入更多更强实力的金融机构合作方，进一步优化合作伙伴的结构，逐步打造结构更加均衡、更加有韧性的金融机构伙伴群体。新接入的金融机构方，综合实力更加雄厚，体现在受地域限制少、风控实力强，业态更加多元化。我们通过智信引擎产品适配银行内部合规的需要，为以后更多的银行的接入形成固定的解决方案。ABS 发行在 Q4 持续开展， Q4 发行11亿 ABS， 持续维持低成本 5.7%。 21年全年发行 ABS 总计65亿，相比20年增长 282%， 全年 ABS 发行综合成本为 5.47%。
In collaboration with financial institutions, we leverage our technology advantage and expanded partnership with stronger financial institutions. This enabled us to further optimize the mix of our financial institution partners and establish a more balanced and resilient partner network. Newly added financial institution partners have brought regional coverage, strong risk management capability, and a diverse business lines. Moreover, our ICE products offers competitive edge to better fit in the compliance requirements of some banks. This will enable us to develop standard solutions to work with more banks in the future. Meanwhile, we continued ABS issuance in Q4 with a total of RMB 1.1 billion at a low coupon rate of 5.7%. This brought our total ABS issuance for the full year to RMB 6.5 billion, up by 282% year-on-year. Our overall ABS funding cost for 2021 was 5.47%.
客群方面，随着定价的下探，我们整体客群质量不断提升，客群质量的价值将在未来逐步释放。降价以来，多个维度的客群质量指标均显著改善，包括我们户金低投用户的占比，有房贷有车贷用户占比，收入更稳定客群占比上升，以及有资产用户占比。这些只是优质客户的数据指证均显著提高。基于我们历史上的客群测试显示，低定价的客户动质率、留存率更好。我们预计也将在未来给我们带来更高的 LTV。
As for our customer base, the overall quality of newly acquired customers gradually improved, coming along with lower pricing. The value of those high-quality customers will be gradually released over the life cycle. As price declines, we note some key indicators of user quality improved significantly, such as the ratio of users with multi-platform credit lines, users with mortgage and car loans, users with a stable income, and users with tangible assets. based on the AB group test we conducted. The drawdown ratio and retention rate are both higher for borrowers at lower pricing. We expect these customers will generate higher LTV as well.
四季度，我们的科技投入在多方面也取得显著进展。我们始终致力于成为科技赋能的平台，运用我们的 AI 及大数据能力，在海量的客户数据及众多的资金信息中，高效地进行精准化、智能化的信贷科技服务，实现大规模、高精度的这种客户画像和风险识别水平。
In Q4, we also made noticeable progress to enhance our tech capabilities on multiple fronts as we remain committed to become a tech-empowered loan facilitating platform serving our financial institution partners and borrowers. We leverage our AI and big data tech to effectively identify customer risk profiles and then match borrowing needs and funding resource-based message data inputs.
我们的智能营销体系实现了重大的模型框架升级，显著提升了客户的识别能力和处理规模，平均提升了20%以上的用户质量，用户获取效率提升了20%多，可识别用户规模实现了300%的增长。我们 Argus 智能风控平台在 AI 深度应用方面，实现社区发现挖掘、承接联邦学习、策略技能等子领域的创新突破，有效赋能客群识别能力和风险管理水平。我们在我们的运维技术领域，自研生产诊断平台提供了一站式的智能化的诊断服务，实现了专家经验工具化、自动化，保障服务的稳定性，实现在30秒内定位问题故障，诊断效率提升90%。
First, we made major upgrades to the framework of our smart marketing system. This significantly improved our ability to better identify users and enlarge our processing capacity. Our average user quality was up by over 20%. Our efficiency in user acquisition was also improved by over 20%. The scale of our identifiable user base increased by threefold. Second, we continue to make key innovations by deepening integration of AI application with our Argus risk management system in the areas of community detection, hierarchical federated learning, and risk management strategy automation. These have strengthened our ability to identify potential borrowers and manage risk. Third, as for AI-powered operation technology, our proprietary production diagnostic platform provides one-stop smart diagnostic service, which embeds the expert experience into automated tools. These tools ensure the stability and accessibility of our service. The platform can identify problems within 30 seconds and boost our diagnostic efficiency by 90%.
展望2022年，面对宏观因素的不确定性，我们将保持稳扎稳打的经营策略。总结过往的成功经验，我们相信，在宏观环境不确定增加的时候，稳健经营才是金融科技行业的黄金法则。
Looking ahead of 2022, considering the macro uncertainties, we will continue to take prudent operating strategy as always. From what we have learned from past success, we believe that holding prudent and steady approach in day-to-day operation is the golden standard for the fintech business when macro uncertainties arise.
经过了2021年的整改，2022年的金融科技行业将迎来相对确定的监管框架。企业在一个稳定的框架下，会更加有精力聚焦长期发展。我们将专注于我们的金融科技战略，持续投入更多的技术研发，让公司的科技属性更强。或者与金融机构合作的模式，根据机构不同的需求，提供不同的产品和服务，同时结构化的优化我们的合作伙伴质量。引入资金效率更高的机构，整体提升服务的可持续性。在 To C 端，我们将投入更多的技术优化模型，更好地识别优质客群，结构化地改善我们的客群质量，同时探索对优质客群的服务，延长生命周期价值，提高留存度。我们去年做的一些工作正在发生非常好的变化，这让我们对今年充满期待。 在自营方面，我们已经增至50亿的互联网小白牌照，我们也会充分的用好，这是我们一个非常重要的战略资源。
After all the rectification in 2021, we expect to see a much clearer regulatory framework for the fintech industry in 2022, which should allow industry participants to be more focused on long-term business development. We will prioritize our technology-driven strategy and continue to invest in R&D, further pursuing innovative solutions and business models. For 2B business, we will explore more diverse products and services for different financial institutions. Meanwhile, we will collaborate with stronger financial institutions to optimize the mix and the quality of our partnership network, and ultimately to boost our services sustainability. For 2C business, we will continue to upgrade our technology and models to better identify high-quality borrowers and optimize our user base matrix. We will roll out more products catering to these high-quality customers. This will bring higher customer LTV and retention rate as well. We are seeing very positive change in our business following all the hard work we did last year. Thus, we are quite looking forward to the year ahead. For our own balance sheet loan business, we have increased the registered capital of our licensed microlending subsidiary to RMB 5 billion. This is a crucial strategy resource that we definitely will capitalize on.
经过这些结构化的升级转型和置换，我相信经过2022年，我们整体对社会的服务效率将会大大提升。我们将会进化成为一个更加有韧性、更加健康可持续的公司，更有能力服务实体经济，为我们国家整体的稳增长战略贡献自己的力量。
With these structural upgrades and improvements, I believe we will serve our customers, partners, and society more efficiently in 2022, making us a healthy, a more resilient, and a more sustainable company. This will enable us to better serve the real economy and contribute to China's overall strategy for steady economic growth.
下面请我们的 CFO Alex 给大家带来更多的财务数据。
Now I will turn to our CFO Alex for more financial details.
Thank you, Haisheng. Good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome to our quarterly earnings call. As Haisheng mentioned, despite facing multiple micro challenges, we delivered solid Q4 results in both operational and financial fronts, and finished 2021 with a series of record-setting annual numbers on the book. During the quarter, we saw continued healthy consumer demand for credit, while asset quality was fluctuating in Q4 mainly as a result of are glad to see improvement in the new year as funding becomes ample. Net revenue for Q4 was 4.4 billion versus 4.6 billion in Q3 and 3.3 billion a year ago. Revenue from credit-driven service, capital heavy, was 2.71 billion compared to 2.62 billion in Q3 and 2.56 billion a year ago. The year-on-year and sequential increase was mainly due to growth in on-balance sheet loans and releasing guarantee liability on previous loan balance, more than offsetting the decline in capital-heavy facilitation volume and the revenue take rate. The take rate decline was as expected, as the average prices of our loans were lowered by 200 basis points during the quarter, while the offsetting factors yet to kick in. Revenue from platform service, capital light, was 1.71 billion compared to 1.99 billion in Q3 and 780 million a year ago. The strong year-over-year growth was mainly driven by a significant increase in capital light loan volume. The sequential decline was due to a decrease in capital light loan volume, along with a modest decline in revenue take rate in Q4. During the quarter, capital light and other technology solutions contribute roughly 54% of total loan volume. Capital light loan volume was negatively impacted by seasonal shortage of overall funding supply, as well as the 24% rate cap related tightening from traditional funding sources. At least for the first half of 2022, we expect Caplite's percentage contribution to our total volume to remain fluctuating around current level as the industry gradually adjusts to the new rate cap. At the core of our long-term growth strategy, we will continue to pursue tech-driven business model. After this transitional period in 2022, we expect Caplite to become a larger portion of our business in the long run. During the quarter, average pricing of our loan portfolio dropped by 200 basis points, and by the end of 2021, average interest rate of the loans on our platform were already below 24%. The 200 basis point cut in Q4 was faster than previous trajectory, and we did it proactively. We believe this will give us a great flexibility in Q1 and Q2 of 2022 to be in compliance with the regulatory requirements and ultimately hit our rate cut target by mid-year deadline. During the quarter, on a blended basis, average customer acquisition cost per user with approved credit line was $319, compared to $305 in Q3. As we elaborated in last quarter's earnings call, we continued to focus on attracting high-quality borrowers, those with much larger credit lines and relatively low risks. The average ticket size of these customers typically run between $150,000 to $200,000, compared to average of $10,000 for our regular borrowers. The unit cost to acquire those high-quality customers are justifiably much higher than the regular borrowers. So to compare things apple to apple, excluding large ticket size customers in both consumer and SME markets, average cost per approved credit line of regular borrowers was approximately $246 in Q4 compared to $249 in Q3. As we discussed in the past, average cost per approved credit line is a calculated number with limited value in our internal decision-making process. We will continue to use lifecycle ROI and LTV as key metrics to determine the pace and scope of our customer acquisition strategy. Throughout 2021, we have maintained healthy ROI and LTV trend, which in turn drives stable net take rates. As overall risk metrics fluctuating in Q4, we continue to take prudent approach in booking provisions against potential credit loss. New provisions for contingent liability for loans originated in the quarter was approximately $1.6 billion. Meanwhile, approximately $400 million of provisions from contingent liability of previous period loans was written back as actual performance of those loans was better than expected. Effective tax rate for Q4 was approximately 14.8%, which brought full year ETR to approximately 17.3%. Going forward, we expect ETR to normalize to around 15%, which will be sustainable in the foreseeable future based on our current tax planning schedule. With strong operating results and stable contribution from Caplite model, our leverage ratio, which is defined as a risk-bearing loan balance divided by shareholders' equity, remained at a historical low of 4.3 times in Q4, compared to 6.6 times a year ago. We expect to see rather stable leverage ratio for the time being until Caplite contribution resume growth in the future. We generated $2 billion cash from operation in Q4 compared to $1.8 billion in Q3 and $1.2 billion a year ago. Total cash and cash equivalent was $9.6 billion in Q4 compared to $7.6 billion in Q3. Non-restricted cash was approximately $6.1 billion in Q4 versus $4.2 billion in Q3. The meaningful increase in cash was in part due to the timing of the registered capital increase for our micro-lending subsidiary, which result in large cash balance sitting in bank account at the year-end, as opposed to being deployed in normal course of the business. As always, a significant portion of our cash would normally be allocated to support our on-balance sheet loans and security deposit with our institutional partners. As we continue to generate healthy cash flow from operations, we believe our current cash position is sufficient to support the growth of our business, to invest in key technologies, to satisfy the potential regulatory requirements, and to return to our shareholders. If you recall, our board of directors approved a quarterly dividend policy in Q3, allowing us to distribute approximately 15 to 20% of quarterly net income after tax in the form of cash dividends on a recurring basis. In accordance with this dividend policy, we declared another quarterly dividend of $0.26 per ADS for Q4. This cash dividends represent approximately 20% of our Q4 earnings. Finally, let me give you some update about our outlook for 2022. As we communicated to the market previously, we believe 2022 will be a transitional year for the industry, as the participants are adjusting to the new regulatory settings as well as some micro uncertainties. As such, we expect total loan volume for the year to be between RMB 410 billion and RMB 450 billion, representing year-on-year growth of 15 to 26%. We view this transitional year as an opportunity for us to optimize our operation, strengthen our technology platform, and upgrading our customer base to build an even stronger foundation for our future growth. As always, this forecast reflects the company's current and preliminary views, which is subject to material change. With that, I would like to conclude our prepared remarks. Operator, we can now take some questions.
Thank you, management. For those who can speak Chinese, please kindly ask your question in Chinese first, followed up by English translations. In addition, in order to have enough time to address everyone on the call, please keep it to one question and one follow-up, and return to the queue if you have more questions. Thank you. So please press 01 on your telephone keypad now to ask a question, and 02 to cancel. So once again, 01 on your telephone keypad now to ask a questions. Our first question is Yada Li from CLCC. Please go ahead.
好的，非常感谢管理层给我这个提问的机会，我是中金公司的李亚达。首先恭喜公司取得如此亮眼的这样一个业绩。我今天也是有一个小问题想要请教管理层一下。首先想请问就是我们目前定价下行调整的这个进度，想请问一下我们这个4季度中新发贷款中定价在24以下的这个比例，以及截止到目前这个比例能达到多少？然后我们在定价下行的这个背景下，整体行业的这个目标客群有所上浮，想请问一下，从业务量提升的这个角度来看，我们后续在获客端针对目标客群有哪些新的这样的一个获客策略？Okay, then I'll do the translation. The first one is, I'd like to know the progress of the pricing adjustments. What's the proportion of loans in 4Q21 that are priced under the 24%, and how much this proportion can reach up to for the first quarter this year? And when the pricing going downward and the target customers sort of get shrunk, I was wondering how are we shifting our customer acquisition strategies? Thanks.
Sure. Thanks, Yada. I will take the first part of the question, and then Haisheng will do the second part. So in the fourth quarter, over 70% of our customers are priced below 24. And as I mentioned in the prepared remarks, by year ending, the average price is already below 24. And this quarter in Q1, we're expecting an even larger portion of customers being priced below 24. and we are pretty confident that we will get the targeted rate cut goal by the mid-year deadline on the
关于我们客群上行后，我们在获客策略上的一些这个变化，我们认为大的方面还是我们过去做的一些事情，但我们相信，随着我们在技术上的一个投入，我们在更精准的、更想要的这个客群上，我们将会做得比以前更好。因为我们今天，我们的模型显示效果比过去来讲要显得要更加的精准，所以从Q4开始，我们这个方面的工作取得了这个巨大的这个进展。另外，从我们这个嵌入金融这个业务上，我们也会跟我们的合作方去重新这个商讨我们的这个客群的这个选取标准，重新制定一些商业的这个条款，来帮我们去更加精准的从这些场景中获取更加优质的客户。那同时我们在这个线下的这个获取方面，我们从21年建立了这个1000多人的一个团队，我们这个工作我们相信在更优质客群的这个获取上会更加的有效。它历史上我们这个渠道型的用户，它就是限制在一个非常激烈的一个竞价水平上。
Yes, let me translate for our CEO. As for your question, the customer acquisition strategy to access the higher quality customer groups, we will leverage 3 approaches. Number 1, further invest more in R&D to improve our tech and AI models to better identify the customer risk profiles. Already see movement in Q4. Second approach, we adjust our API customer acquisition approach with our platform partners. Thirdly, we send the offline team, which historically show is a much better approach, especially for the high quality customers.
非常清楚，感谢那个吴总、徐总还有董总，谢谢。
Our next question is Yi Xiuxu from Morgan Stanley.
管理层好，我是摩根斯坦利的分析师徐然。我就想请问一下，就我们这个资金来源呀，或者我们跟现在各种银行合作的情况，因为刚才管理层也说到我们的 ABS 的比例也在增加，我们这个小贷公司增资也基本到位。我们看到现在这个 Capital Light 和这个 Capital Heavy 的这个比例好像也比较稳定，那就想请教一下，就是我们现在比如像跟银行的一些合作的这个 credit line 有没有继续增加？然后我们以后从这个贷款的比例来讲，我们多少可能用大概长期 ABS 小贷公司还有这种贷款的这个轻资产模式，有没有一个新的想法和战略思路？Basically, my question is on the funding front. There's been increasing in ABS, also the small loan company capital injection is also completed. Just want to see whether there's a credit line with the banks or cooperation with the banks is still expanding, and what will be the long-term mix in terms of the funding between capital light, capital heavy, and then the different funding sources. 非常感谢。
好，谢谢徐然对，对你看得很正确。我们在这个跟合作的这些银行的这个规模上和数量上在逐渐增加。我们随着这个客群的这个上移，跟银行的这个合作的这个用户的这个授信的这个额度，其实比过去也要更高。因为其实伴随这个客群的质量上升，它自然会有一个这个credit line 的一个增加的过程。所以的话，我们这个趋势是非常非常显然的，而且我们随着这个大银行的引入，大银行会在这个更加优质的客群上会更加这个偏好，所以也会鼓励我们去对这些用户进行更好的服务。这是 credit line。第二个就是关于我们在这个轻资产这个未来的新的思路上，我们 确实会有一些更多的一个探索，因为随着我们这个银行数量的这个越来越多，他们的需求也呈现非常多样化的一个状态。有些是需要相对这个多的一个服务，有些相对来讲它是相对只需要一个环节的服务，比如有人更多的倾向于需要这个风控方面的服务，有的更多倾向于这个营销方面的服务，有的倾向于甚至是带货方面的服务。所以我们在轻资产上今年会根据这些银行的需求的不同，会探索更加这种环节化、碎片化的一些技术服务。
Yes, to answer your question, Richard, you are very correct. First, we will continuously expand our number of financial institution partners by introducing stronger banks. As this comes along, we can offer larger ticket size to better quality customers. Second, as for the capital light volume, we will explore more diverse products catering to different needs of financial institutions. Their needs include marketing service, risk management service, and loan collection service.
I just want to add one point. So from a longer term perspective, the capital contribution, as I mentioned in the prepared remarks, will be moving higher from current level. If you recall, in the past we were at some point targeting like 2/3 or 70%. I think from a longer term perspective, that's probably still be the target. This year will be fluctuated around this current level just because the whole industry is adjusting to the new environment. And when we done with this adjustment, the trend line will start to move to the higher direction for capital.
好的，非常感谢吴总、徐总。
谢谢。
Next question is Ethan Wang, CLSA。
好的，管理层好。我先可能很快 follow up 一下 Richard 这个问题，就想请教一下管理层，我们4季度的这个融资成本大概是多少？然后对我们今年的融资成本的这个 expectation 是怎么样的？然后我这边可能有个担心吧，市场有个担心，就是监管似乎在加强对于就是当地或者是就是没有全国性牌照的金融机构或者类金融机构的监管。这可能牵涉到2个问题，一个是当我们与这些城商行、农商行合作的时候，在未来会不会他们在合作方面会有一个constraint， 会有一些 concern， 去扩大他们的业务量。第二个就是我们和担保公司合作，担保公司可能很多都是地方性的担保公司，这是不是意味着将来他们需要设立在全国各地都设立机构，我们才能做到全国放款。Okay, I have 2 questions. First, a quick follow-up. Just wondering the funding cost for the fourth quarter and the management's view on the funding cost for this year. Second question is on the market concern on the tightening regulation for the local financial institutions or quasi-financial institutions. So for the regional banks who are cooperating, just wondering whether they are having concern on this front and whether that's going to impact business. And for the guarantee companies, does that mean they will set up various institutions across the country so we can cooperate with them to lend nationwide? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ethan. I will take the first part again, and then Haisheng will take care of the second one. So for the funding cost for the Q4, it was approximately 7%. And the Q4, as you know, it's always been a very tightening period from a money supply perspective in the financial system. So normally that's reflecting the funding cost. And for moving into this year, as we sort of gradually transition to new institutional partners, the overall funding supply will getting more sufficient. But during this transitional period, we are expecting a rather stable funding cost around 7%. And after we're done with this transitional, we'll probably start to see a gradual, although modest,
kind of a decline in funding cost in the long run. 谢谢。
好，第二个关于那个金融机构对于地域性这个问题的担心，这个问题来自于城商行互联网贷款管理办法的一条规定。这个文件出台的时间其实比较早了，它给了行业也足够长的一个过渡期。整个行业来讲，普遍是按照这个今年1月1号为标准来要求自己去做整改的。那从我们现在的这个数据看来，基本上在线上服务的这些机构们都已经完全做到了这一点。而且从我们这个合作的这个机构的这个结构上来讲的话呢，我们这种消费金融公司，这种全国性的银行和这种大型的这种有全国这个网点的这种这个银行，相对来讲数量是比较充裕的。所以这个问题对我们来讲的话，基本上是是对整个行业的很多家平台来讲的话，基本上已经被消化了。谢谢。
Yeah, Ethan, to answer your question, number one, your question comes from the very early requirement that the online loan business for urban commercial banks, this is quite early regulation, and the regulator gives a rather long grace period for all the market participants. The cutoff date issue is January 1st this year. Currently, all our financial institution partners are within the compliance. Secondly, looking at the matrix of our financial institution partners network, most of them are nationwide operation. Therefore, we are very limited impact from this regulation.
好的，谢谢吴总。想就是问一下，刚才那个担保公司会有这个地方性限制的担忧吗？
对，担保公司理论上现在的话，全国性的担保公司也还是有的。然后担保公司也可以通过这种跟那个银行类似做法，就是在全国对担保公司设分支机构应该说，可能比银行还是要容易很多的，所以也是有这个解决思路的。
Yeah, as the second part of your question, the regional restriction for guarantee companies. Guarantee company can set local branch nationwide to satisfy this requirement. It's comparatively easy compared to the banks to cover nationwide.
好的，谢谢。Thank you.
谢谢。
Our next question is Thomas Chong from Jefferies.
早上好，谢谢管理层接受我的提问。我的问题主要是关于我们中小企的战略的。看到我们也开了另外一个新的一个 APP，在 further penetrate 在这一个领域那边。想问一下，我们对未来这个 SME 的占比，然后从这个borrowing cost、loan size，还有就是他们的 industry categories 呢，可不可以也分享一下嘛？另外一个问题是关于在这个经济环境不确定的情况下呢，我们有没有看到了从我们的消费者他们就是这个贷款的那个用途会不会有什么变化呢？Thanks management for taking my questions. I have two. My first question is about the SME strategies. Can management comments about how we should think about the contribution over the future, as well as the borrowing cost and the loan size going forward, together with the industry categories that we are working with? And my second question is more about the macro headwinds that we are facing these days, and outbreak of COVID. Are we seeing any changes in terms of the consumer behavior, in terms of the use of the POSs? Thank you.
好，谢谢啊。对，我先回答针对性的几个问题，然后我再表达一下对于 SME 的一个观点啊。第一个就是我们现在这款产品，从这个 credit size 这个角度来讲的话，我们是针对专门这种税票产品呢，我们现在能做到这个25万的一个额度。那相对泛一些的这个小微，比如说我们把这种线上的这种 电商的这种用户也做成这个 SME 的话呢，它的这个平均下来的额度呢，可能就是5万左右。所以不同的口径下，它的这个 size 不一样。那从这个 cost 角度来讲的话，我们因为这个税票这个产品呢，它可能在线下还有通过这个代理渠道合作会贡献比较多一些，所以它来讲从整个的 take rate 角度呢，它可能占2%的一个营销成本。这些用户的这个用途，它从我们的数据看来，他们应该没有发生跟过去显著的一个变化，因为我们客户的画像是制造业、贸易、这个建材行业、批发零售行业相对比较多一些，这些行业相对来讲受疫情影响也小一些，那他们的这个持续性也会相对稳定一些，所以我们没有看到用途有一个很显著的变化。
Well, first, regarding your question about SME business, the average ticket size for SME products, the overall is about 50K RMB. For some tax loans, which is larger ticket size, usually we provide products over 250K RMB. For the tax loan, we estimate the marketing expense is around 2%. Secondly, for your question about the use of loan, as most of our consumers work in the industry that are less impacted from the COVID and the macro economy, we are seeing their use of loan is consistent with previous.
对，然后我再想表达一下我们对于 SME 的一个思路我们其实在这个业务上呢还是非常克制的，因为我们其实理论上看到的这个需求是非常旺的，而且国家政策上也是非常鼓励的。但是我们应该来讲是我们只选择了其中一个非常小的一部分在做，而且我们从我们的这个企业画像来讲的话，我们选择的制造业、这个零售业、这个贸易这些行业的画像，相对来讲，我们认为它的这个相对于目前的这个宏观经济环境来讲，它的这个韧性会好一些。那我们在今年来看的话，我们也依然不会去大幅的去做这个 SME， 而是会相对来讲选择经过一个更长的一个完整的生命周期之后，我们再会去调整我们一个比较大的一些战略。因此我们同时我们在这个业务上呢，我们可能也会去探索更加轻资本的一个模式，比如说我们给各种不同的银行在做这个业务的这些机构们提供这个营销服务或者提供一些技术支撑服务的模式，依然服务这个 SME 市场。
I want to add more color for our operating strategy for SME business line. Even under the tremendous demand from SME borrower and the supportive policy from government, we take a very prudent strategy in this business. We focus on those industries that are less impacted by the macro economy, such as manufacturing and retail. This year, we do not expect to accelerate exponentially in this business line. Again, we will take very conservative role. Also, we will explore more capitalized and more tech-driven solutions for financial institutions in this SME business.
好，谢谢啊。
谢谢。
Thank you. This is the end of our question and answer sections. Now I give it back to the management for closing remarks. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you again for participating in the call. And if you have any additional questions, please contact us and offline, and we'll discuss that. Thank you.
This concludes our conference call. You may disconnect now. Goodbye.